Stampers, I've got a scene for you today, and I hope you enjoy this one. This is another one done with the winter owls. Somebody needs to come and take this stamp set away from me because I just love it and I've used it so much already. So this one is done with a winter scene and a white owl. So I'm going to get going right away on this project. We're going to go step by step. And we're going to be using this Winter Owl stamp set, and I didn't use the dies, but it has a lovely die set that you can bundle it up with. Here are the dies. Lots of things that you can use. Cuts out the birds, this wonderful tree, a moon, a branch, about everything you need for a bird. So it's a nice bundle, super nice bundle, and you can save 10% by getting them together. So that's what we're going to be using as our stamp set. We're going to go ahead and stamp our little bird, and I'm going to stamp him in Memento Tuxedo Black. And I'm using this bird here. There are 3 birds that are stamped images for this stamp set. Stamping him in Memento Tuxedo Black, just on a scrap of basic white. Not much coloring to this, so I just want to add a little shadow in his feathers just to give him a little bit of color. So I'm using the light Smoky Slate, and I'm using the brush end, and I'm just going to color anywhere he has little dots on him. I'm going to color that spot. I'm not worried about going outside of the image too, because we're going to be cutting this out. You can either die cut it out with the coordinating die that's in the set, or you can fussy cut it. I'm just going to fussy cut him today. So there's those little feathers, all the spots. And then I'm just going to add a little dimension to his face by adding a line from his eyes towards his nose there. That's going to bring his face out a little bit. And then I'm just going to add a little line here to where his neck would be. So that shows a little depth too. So there is that. And now I'm just going to cut him out really quick. This is a simple one to cut out. Like I said, you could use the dies also. I tend to use the dies when I need to cut out more than one. I guess I'm old school, huh? So I'm just going to cut him out quickly. And he doesn't have like really any intricate parts to him, so it goes pretty fast. And there he's all cut out, and he's ready for the front of our cards. We're just going to set him aside for now, and then we're going to work on our background. So I'm going to start with a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece of basic white cardstock. You can find all the dimensions along with the product links down below this video. Just click show more, and they're all down there ready for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get a post-it note here. So I have a 3 by 5 post-it note here, and I'm going to rip just some small hills here in my post-it note. This is the sticky part here, and you want that sticky part at the top of your hills. So when you're ripping them, you're going to come way up on almost to the edge of that, just to get that sticky part there. And there is our hills. And I'm going to put mine kind of sideways here a little bit because I want my hills to go that way. You can do it, you know, adjust it however you want. You could put it on straight, you put it on sideways, you know, tilted. It's entirely up to you where you want to start at. I'm going to mask like the bottom, probably a little under half there. You really only have to worry about masking this much of it, but I have enough post-it note. It goes all the way to the bottom. So we're going to start with our sky first. And I have a punch here. This is a 3/4 inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch it out of the sticky part of a double layer of post-it note. And I'm using a double layer because we're going to have a dark sky here, and I don't want my colors to bleed through my moon. You can use like any size moon you want to. You want it a 1 inch, ½ inch, you know, it depends on how full you want that moon. You can even do a big old 2-inch moon up there if you wanted to. So that's up to you too. So I have that covered, and now we're going to put our sky in, and I'm going to start out with Orchid Oasis. This is kind of a purpley blue. It's very pretty. So I'm going to use a blending brush. I'm just going to blend this color all over my sky here. We have our snow mask, so we don't have to worry about getting anything on our snow. I want the sky pretty dark, so I'm putting quite a bit on. And we're going to go in with another color here. So that was Orchid Oasis. And our next color will be Starry Sky. And I'm going to use a blending brush for that also. And what I want to do is have like a ring around the moon that doesn't have any of this starry sky on it. So I'm going to kind of start here along the bottom of my Post-it note, and then I'm going to come up. Now, so I want some of that lightness here. So the moon is like shining pretty bright there. So that's how you get that effect. Super simple. Okay, so that is done. Now we're going to add some trees on this level. And I have this great tree from the owl set. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black for this. Ink that up. This is a great winter tree. And I'm going to stamp these up here at the top. Now this is our first level of trees. So I'm just going to stamp a few up here, leaving a little space. So there's 2. Maybe I'll go up a little higher on this one. Whoop. There's a mistake. I forgot to take my mask off, so I'm going to have to restamp that on there. That's okay. We'll just line it up the best we can. There we go. It's a little dark. A little double tree there at the bottom. I'm not going to sweat that small stuff. Okay, one more tree. There we go. And then I'm going to take a blending brush and some of this black ink. I'm just going to get dark right down there along that Post-it note edge. And that was with that Memento Tuxedo Black also. Okay, so we're going to move this. So that is one level. So we're going to move this Post-it note. I'm going to kind of turn it this direction. I don't want a repeat pattern. So either you need to tilt it one way or the other or use a different Post-it note. I'm going to start out with Highland Heather here for our snow color. And I have a blending brush. And I'm just going to add some of that Highland Heather in our snow area. You can leave the top of your snow kind of white. There we go. That was Highland Heather. Then I'm going to bring in a darker purple. This is Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to add some of that Gorgeous Grape along the Post-it note edge. Get a little darker yet. Now I'm not covering all of that Highland Heather up. And then I want to get a little darker yet, so I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black and just add just a hint of that along that edge of that Post-it note. So it's kind of dark there. Okay, and now I'm going to stamp my trees again. This time I'm going to stamp trees. I'm going to try to stamp them kind of not right on top of my other trees. Okay, I want them down a little lower, and you can try to hit in between. So there's one. I think I'll put one over here, maybe a little up further. You can add one here at the side, and add one here. So I kind of like that they're staggered a bit. There we go. So I like that a lot. I'm just going to kind of clean my stamp off a bit. Okay, so that is that level. So just follow along with me step by step. We'll get through this. It's not much. It's just blending color. So we're going to repeat those colors for our snow for the bottom snowdrift here. So I'm starting with that Highland Heather. And then I'm going to let some of that snow be white on this level at the top of the hills. See how pretty that is? And then I think I'm going to add some of that gorgeous grape. I'm going to add it like just along the bottom inch here. That looks nice and cold, all that purple, right? Let's do our trees now. Now I want to stamp our trees in this gorgeous grape. And what you need to do is kind of see where your trees are for this second layer that we put in. And we're just going to line it up and give it a stamp. These are our shadows. There we go. Here's one here. We'll do one here at the side. We need a little bit here. And there's our shadows. Now our scene is, background is done. Doesn't that look nice? You don't really need the owl, but that boy, the owl just takes it to that next level. So I have my little owl going here. So to put our owl on, I just have a little scrap of Smoky Slate here. And this is about a 1/2 inch wide. I'm just going to rip a little bit off the side of it, just to make it look more like wood. I kind of left it more straight on the last one. But I think I want a rough edge on this one. And then I'm going to take a light basic black marker and I'm going to add some marks on this. Just coming in from the side, like this might be birch wood or something like that. Just making little marks with the brush end. Just so it kind of looks like wood. And if you get a little squirrely with it, you can take a little bit off. Okay, so there that is. Now we need to figure out where we want our owl at. I kind of like it to be somewhere where there's not a tree coming up from out behind his head. I think that's distracting. So I kind of put him in between the trees there. That's where I want my post to come up at. And I'm just going to glue this on. You could probably get pretty elaborate with that post, but I wanted to keep it pretty simple, something that we could do quickly. So there it is there. I'm going to turn it around and cut that excess off. Let's keep it simple, right? And then we're going to add our bird on here. Just going to make sure its feet are on there and that he's sitting pretty upright, not leaning back or forward or anything like that. I'm using multi-purpose glue for this. There we go. That owl just looks super great on that front of that scene. So there is the owl. Now I just want to put some like bob wire in. So I just want it to look like there's some bob wire wrapped around this post here. So I'm just going to make kind of a small X here on my post. And then I'm going to take it, and from the top of one part of the X, I'm going to make a swoop with a fine point pen here. And I think I'm just going to make a swoop from the bottom on this side. So there we have like 2 pieces of wire. And then I'm going to make sideways V's, back and forth kind of, or you can make a couple in the same direction and one they go in the other direction. That's just for your little bob wire. So easy. There you go. So there's the bob wire that we have. You could get even a little crazier. You could put stars in your sky, snow on your trees. I just liked it the way it was, so I'm leaving it there. And now we're going to start putting our card together. And I kept a really simple layout for this. Get rid of that paper. Okay, so I have a Starry Sky card base here that's 5.5 by 8.5, and I folded it in half to create my quarter card. I'm just going to use my bone folder here to get it folded nicely. So there is that. I cut 2 Smoky Slate panels. They're both 4 by 5.25. One will go on the front and one for the inside. Here's the front of my card. And then I'm going to put one in the inside. I'm not sure what I want to use on the inside yet for the sentiment, so I'm leaving it blank right now. There we go. And then I just want to stamp a sentiment on the front of this card. And this one I put warm wishes on the front down here. And I think I'll use one of the other ones. I think I'll use sending love on this one. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this, and I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black. I like to test my sentiments out first. Let's see here. So there's sending love. And that black still shows up with all that color going on behind it, which is nice. But you can also use like a label or something to that sort if you wanted it to stand out even more. So we're going to add this to the front of our card. Add a little love in there. Center it up. And there is our creation for today. Look at that scene. It just looks so complicated when you first look at it. But when you break it down step by step, it all comes together at the end, doesn't it? So there is our card for today. I hope you enjoy this project and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.